Good evening, Rambler fans, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Emma Wheeler.
And I'm Nader Issa. You know, like Darth Vader, but with an N? No? All right, let's move on.
Yeah, how about we move on to Rambler Sports, Darth Nader?
Fine, I brought that on myself. The men's soccer team used the force to push the Wisconsin Badgers into double overtime on Wednesday, eventually playing to a 1-1 draw. The game marked the team's third tie in 4 games. The Ramblers stormed out of the gates with a goal only 48 seconds into the game from senior Ben Crognelli. Loyola was only able to hold on for the lead for a mere 16 minutes before Tom Barlow found the back of the Ramblers' net for Wisconsin. Loyola finished with a 12-11 advantage in the shots department, but the team was unable to score for the remainder of the game. The men's team hosts Missouri State at 6 p.m. on Saturday at Loyola Soccer Park.
The women's volleyball team also hosted Illinois last Saturday as the Ramblers tried to end the Redbirds' 8-game winning streak. Sports soccer alum Joe Flaherty, freshly hired as the Ramblers' play-by-play, hard at work here. After trailing early in the first set, the Ramblers went on a run, which included this Brittany Brown kill to get to within 3. It was all Redbirds from there, as this kill by Jalen Keene gave the Redbirds the set 25-15. The Ramblers had a scare later in the second set as Morgan Reardon suffered an injury on her lower left foot. Luckily, number 5 came right back into the action and got the Ramblers to within 3 with this kill. Unfortunately, the second set ended just like the first one, as another Keene kill closed the set 25-19. The Ramblers and the Redbirds played a tight third set. This kill by Maureen Carls helped the Ramblers keep the score even at 13. The Redbirds then went on a 7-3 run, which included one of Ashley Roch's game-high 15 kills. Reardon later evened the game at 22 with one of her team-high 12 kills, but it would not be enough as this Roch kill gave the Redbirds the final set 25-23. The Ramblers hope to end their 3-game losing streak this Friday as they host the Bradley Braves.
This week marks the anniversary of a historic football game that included Hall of Famers such as Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Let's send it to Nabil Hassan to tell us a little bit more about this famous game.
We go back to 1990 for this week in history. The San Francisco 49ers headed to Atlanta to face the Falcons. 4-time Super Bowl winner Joe Montana ripped apart the Falcons' defense with 6 touchdowns and over 475 yards passing. Hall of Famer Jerry Rice was Montana's key target in this game. Rice caught 5 touchdown passes, which tied the NFL record for most touchdown receptions in a game. The Niners went on to beat the Falcons 45-35. They finished the season with a 14-2 record. San Francisco fell just short of winning the Super Bowl that season. They lost to the New York Giants in the conference championship game. That's This Week in History. I'm Nabil Hassan.
Thanks, Nabil. Even though that game was a whole 5 years before I was born, I've always heard a lot about that game and how Joe Montana and Jerry Rice were great together.
Exactly. And since it's football season, that means winter is coming, and with winter comes college basketball. Once again, Loyola is kicking off the season with Midnight Madness, a celebration complete with dunk competitions and 3-point contests. Shayna Farinas takes a look back at last year's version and shares her excitement with her fellow Ramblers.
Where are we, Joe? We're at Gentile Arena. We're courtside for Midnight Madness. This isn't Sparta, but this is madness.
Midnight Madness returns October 24th to once again kick off the basketball season. The Rambler Sports Locker catches up with a couple of citizen Ramblers to see what they're excited for in this year's event. So, have you been to Midnight Madness before?
I have.
And what was your favorite part of it?
Just pretty much all the students getting together, going wild, having a good time. I do like some of the events that we did there, like stuff like that. It's just really fun.
Like what specific event?
I can't really remember like the name of it, but like we did like a little relay thing, but that was fun.
I really liked there was a lot of pizza, so there was plenty to eat, which is good for college students always. I liked the musical chairs. I thought that was a lot of fun. And Gerald Swoops was in a tutu.
Despite last year's turnout, high hopes for this season still exist in the most dedicated fans.
I just hope they do well at the MVC this year, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how we do this year. And I'm hoping that we actually, make it pretty far, maybe make the NCAA tournament. Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Well, I know a lot of them, so I'm going to give a shout out to Turk and Jeff Green, or Jeff White, not Jeff Green, and Milton Doyle.
Sister Jean, swoops, relays, I think we're all excited for Midnight Madness. I'm Shayna Farinas from the Rambler Sports Locker. Back to you guys at the desk.
This year's Midnight Madness is on October 24th at 7 p.m. Make sure you're there to be a part of all the hype and kick off the basketball season. Regular season tickets are now on sale for both the men's and women's basketball teams. Single game tickets are available for any of the men's 16 home games, as well as packages and mini plans for purchasing tickets to multiple games. The women will play at Gentile 14 times this season, including their home opener against Georgia Tech on November 14th.
The women's soccer team forced defending MVC champions Illinois State to overtime last Saturday. The Ramblers lost the game 2-1 after the Redbirds scored the winning goal less than 5 minutes into overtime. Kara Ruffalo netted the only goal for the Ramblers when she received a cross from junior defender Mariah Vichik in the 53rd minute. That goal tied the game for Loyola, which had surrendered an early first-half goal in the 20th minute. After the game, head coach Barry Bimby was pleased with his team's effort. He said, "A lot of teams against Illinois State give up the first goal and they fold. We got the tying goal, and the biggest thing for me was that it wasn't the end-all. We believed that we were going to win because we pressed on." Bimby and the women's team will look to move on from the loss when they face the Northern Iowa Panthers this Sunday.
This past weekend, Jake Mazanke was invited to the Intercollegiate Archery Grounds, where he learned about the aspirations of the newly formed archery team.
This past Sunday, Loyola student Raquel Navarro hosted the Intercollegiate Archery Round at the Lincoln Park Archery Range. Currently, Loyola does not have an official archery club. This event was aimed to spark student interest in archery with hopes of establishing a club.
This is the first event to gain interest for the Loyola Archery Club. It's titled the Intercollegiate Archery Round, and we have some beginners here shooting archery for the first time. We're going to teach them about basic form for archery and also how to score as you would in a formal tournament.
Attendees learn the basics of archery mechanics and safety. This event was open to all levels of archery experience.
It was a lot of fun. I'm trying to learn how to do the right motions, the right stance and whatnot. I'm hitting the whole target at least. I'm not doing very well getting the bullseye, but it's my first time out here.
During the event, Loyola students participated in a round of competitive target archery. The competitors shot 6 arrows and totaled their score after each round. During the competition, attendees were instructed by aspiring Loyola Archery Club coach Brent Harmon.
I would like to see an archery club established at Loyola, and I would like to be their head coach. I look forward to applying my coaching skills to a successful program and establishing Loyola as an archery powerhouse.
Future archery events for Loyola students are already being planned in hopes of eventually competing for the Indoor Collegiate Championship in January.
Some events for archery coming up for Loyola are a series of Loyola Archery Days. We're going to go to the American Indian Center, an indoor range, and we're going to shoot regularly, hopefully about every 2 weeks. And that will be in preparation for an indoor collegiate championship in January.
For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Jake Mazanke.
What are you doing?
Practicing.
Okay, stay on target, Darth. The women's golf team is back from Ohio after finishing in 6th place at the Rocket Classic in Catawba Island. The team closed out their 3 rounds on Tuesday with a combined score of 966, a 10-stroke improvement from their score of last year's Classic. Leading the Ramblers was freshman Summer Moser, who scored a 2-day total of 236. This is the second time in a row Moser's individual combined score held the top spot among Ramblers. The team looks to strike again next week when they head back to Ohio on Monday for the Flyer Invitational.
Speaking and getting in the swing of things, the MLB Championship Series are in full swing. Unfortunately, this means that we have to suffer through watching the Cardinals or Giants make it to the World Series yet again. Find out which team you should root against on this week's Ramble.
Hey y'all, and welcome to this week's Ramble. I'm Milot Mehta, your moderator, and I'm joined by Molly Brewer, our reigning champ, and the challenger, Bridget Murphy. So let's get started. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to suffer through either the Giants or the Cardinals once again in this year's World Series. But which of these teams should we exactly be hating more? Molly, let's start with you.
I'd just like to start off by saying that even though I love San Francisco, the city, I'm really not partial to the San Francisco Giants. First of all, Halloween is in 2 weeks, and after that, those colors are going to go out of style, so shouldn't really worry too much about that anymore. And then I'd also just like to say that they didn't even win their division series, their championship. They had to play in the wild card game, and I just think that they're not the dominating team.
Okay, I'm surprised you went through that without making a Hunter Pence reference, but that's okay. Bridget, go for it.
Okay, so in America, we don't really like when the favorite wins, and right now the Cardinals are the favorite. After they won the 2011 series, a lot of journalists started referring to them as the new Yankees or like a new dynasty in baseball. And like when they won in 2006, everyone was like, okay, they haven't won since the 80s. Let's, good for them. Good for them, they won a World Series. And then they won again in 2011, and in addition to going to the World Series in 2009 and 2012 and 2013. So it's, sorry.
All right, really awesome points there, Bridget. Now, Molly, what specifically about the Giants outside their colors should we exactly be hating? I mean, why do they suck?
I don't think that they're the dominating team. I know that it's been a little neck and neck with the Cardinals recently, but 2 games ago, the Giants, they only won because of a walk-off error. It was a bit of a fluke. I just don't think that they're going to win.
All right, awesome. And Bridget, why should we hate this year's Cardinals team versus the rest of them?
I mean, I think we should hate all the years of the Cardinals. Like, even coaches don't like playing the Cardinals because the refs give them all the calls. It's like watching the Heat win another NBA championship. It's just not fun.
All right, now I'm going to give each of you a chance to rebut each other's arguments. Molly, go for it.
I don't understand. I mean, if the Cardinals are doing well, how can you hate them?
I mean, it's like for the past however many years of baseball, watching the Yankees do well, and the Yankees are probably the most hated franchise in baseball. I mean, just for the pure fact that they're the Yankees.
They're overrated.
All right, all right. Really fair points from both of you. I'm going to actually give this title to Bridget, and that's because, one, I didn't get a Hunter Pence reference from Molly. I was really hoping for that. Didn't happen. And comparing the Cardinals to the Heat and Yankees, great choice. Now back to you all at the desk.
Milop and the ladies had a fun talk about the Cards and Giants, but honestly, it would be nice to see my hometown Twins make an appearance this late in the postseason for once.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I heard Chicago has 2 really great teams.
Are you sure?
Of course I am. As far as I've heard, the Cubs and White Sox have always been great.
Every week we try to pick out an interesting viral video. Today we have an extraordinary college football catch from a player at Fairmont State University in West Virginia.
I've seen some great catches from players in the NFL before, but that's got to be one of the best college football catches I've ever seen.
And last but not least, sports editor of the Phoenix, Joaquin Carrig, lets us know what's in this week's section.
Thanks, guys. This week in the sports section of the Phoenix, we have the midseason reports for all the fall sports here at Loyola. We have the story of the accomplished captain of the women's golf team, Alex Myers. One of our writers took a look at the entertaining and sometimes unusual pregame rituals of Rambler athletes, and our own Bridget Murphy explains why fantasy football is all the rage these days. So pick up a paper or go to our website at loyolaphoenix.com and get the latest on all things Loyola sports. From the Phoenix Newsroom, I'm Joaquin Carrig.
Thanks, Joaquin. That wraps it up for this week. Make sure to visit our website at ramblersportslocker.com, and you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook at any of the handles you see listed below. I'm Darth Nader Esau.
And I'm Emma Wheeler. Thanks for stopping by the locker, and don't forget to turn out the lights.